Hello. How are you? I cracked myself up. If you're wondering why my screen is so hazy, that's because my camera lens is broken. There's like a crack along you know, the glass part of the camera. I'm just kind of bored and I'm sitting waiting for my loved one to get out of an appointment, and they're probably not getting out for another hour. So I'm just gonna sit here and talk to myself like back in the old days. It's my steering wheel. It's real pretty. I am in my Swagger wagon minivan. I don't know what to do with my hands. It's been a while since I've been on camera. And this is my best angle. I think I'll do it like this. This seems pretty fun. It's like really comfy. I don't know why I had like a flashback. Have you ever seen that interview with like Demi Lovato where someone asked her what her favorite dish is, and she's like I'm cracking myself up. And she's like, I don't know, a mug cuz like it has a handle and you can hold it. It's one of my favorite moments in celebrity interviews because she didn't understand. And I feel like it's something I would easily confuse, and like dish, too literal. Yes, I think you are talking about dinnerware. But no, you're not. I'm talking about a meal. Um, I used to work at this place that did bridal registries. This is the most ridiculous. I don't know where else to put my phone. Can I put it here? Can you see me? Not any better, can you? That's a little better. It's a little intrusive. It's my kid's stuff back there. Um, used to work at a place that did bridal registries, and somebody called once, like each dinnerware or they had different collections, right? They still do. They didn't stop doing it just because I don't work there. But someone had called in one time to see if we had a certain collection in stock. And they mispronounced the name of the collection. And so since I was the employee and I worked there, I thought like, oh, I'll help you. I work here now. So it was really funny. They pronounced something similar to like a word that we use every day, but it wasn't that word. Um, they were pronouncing it correctly, and I was pronouncing it very incorrectly. I thought it was supposed to be Ecuador with a T, like Equator, and that's what I was trying to help the person um, learn how to say. And they were like, well, maybe it's not Equator with a T. Um, maybe it's Equator. I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's making me think, what kind of collection was named Equator anyway? Equator sounds, I'm pretty sure that's right. I'm pretty sure they were wrong all along. But you know, no one ever knows these things until you tell them. But it really reminded me of like, what's your favorite dish? a mug because it has a handle. It gets me. Nobody's here, and that's amazing. So I can keep talking to myself. So I've watched some really crazy television this past year. One that I really liked while I was watching it, but hated the ending and didn't really understand. I have seen so many of the same car drive by. Maybe it's the same person. It's been like, it's not the same person. Maybe it is the same person. I don't know, but it's like 5 of these Honda, not Honda Civic, whatever their SUV is called. Oh, not Flowers in the Attic isn't the show. Flowers for Alice? I believe it was based off a book. I don't know. That's not what you're here for. You're not here for knowledge. You're here for mindless rants. But it was going to be really good, and then it absolutely turned out to be I mean, it wasn't horrible. I just didn't like that it didn't have an end necessarily, and it wasn't that it was a cliffhanger either. It just, I don't know. It was too much like everyday life. It turned out to be too much like everyday life, and like there's no, I don't want to say there's not good and bad. It's all gray and blended, but it was unsettling and disturbing, and I didn't like it. If I want to watch a documentary, I'll watch a documentary, and I was not watching a documentary. I thought I was watching something fictional, which it was fictional, but I don't know. It was about DV and stuff like that, and weird dynamics between the grandmother, and I don't know. But I did finish quite a while ago, probably within 2 weeks, the new season of Black Mirror. And I'm working on a video for my opinions of the season. I know there's been some haterade out there, to include some of my own family members. Some of my own family members have negative things to say about the most recent season of Black Mirror, and I have a different opinion of season 6. That's not pretty much like anybody else's, I don't think. Well, sounds like I think I'm special or something. I haven't met a lot of people who have my same opinion. Everyone's pretty much like, hey, this sucks. This is the worst season ever. And sure, I think it's different, but I'm good with it. And if I'm good with it, then, it's good. Because all of you 0 people watching value my opinion. I know. I'm trying to get back in the swing of things, of doing videos on here, reaching out to my people. I don't know. I'm kind of having fun talking to myself. Maybe I just need to do this. Turn the video on and like ramble. It's healthy. And put it online for the world to see. I think that's pretty rational. It's pretty rational. It's pretty sane. Yeah. If you can probably hear, I'm still kind of nasally because I was out sick for a good week and a half where I pretty much didn't get out of bed. And similarly to the rest of the world, it wasn't COVID, it wasn't the flu, it wasn't strep, it was some random virus that just kind of took me out and I was sick, but I'm good now. And I've had COVID twice. I had it this past fall, I think. I had it again, summer, something. And that wasn't as bad as whatever this was. I had like no energy. I kept checking my oxygen because I was like, man, I feel like I have pneumonia, but I didn't. But just getting winded going to the restroom or the kitchen or something from my bed. It wasn't fun. I hope everyone else is staying healthy and well. Murdaugh stuff. I genuinely want to go to the hearing on Monday. It's closer to me than where the trial was being held, and I really wish it didn't have national attention. I wish it was just kind of local, state, whatever, because I don't want to be seen in the gallery and go on. I don't want to be seen. I don't like being seen. That's why I have a YouTube channel. But number one, I don't want to be. I would be so embarrassed. Just like your local news. Oh, look, there's JC. No. And then I want to go because I'm very interested in our state legislate. I'm interested in pronouncing words correctly, like legislation. I'm very interested in that. In regards to this case, because it has really opened my eyes to behaviors I'm not comfortable with as someone who's a resident of South Carolina. And yeah, unfortunate events, several unfortunate events, hundreds of unfortunate events have happened in our state that have made the tangled web. That is the Murdaugh saga, and has shed light on the not cool way things happen in our state politics. So it's just kind of lit a fire under me to be more involved, more aware, and more interested in what happens around here. So that's that. I thought someone would come in here at least and say hello. I did do this last minute. So I have talked to myself quite enough, I believe, for today. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, Belinda. I was actually just about to get off here. I've rambled for a while. Hey, 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 hey. How are things going down under? I hope you're doing well. I've just been rambling about this, that, and the other TV shows that I've watched. Talked about the upcoming hearing for Alec Murdaugh and whether or not he's going to have a retrial. It's going to be next Monday. I don't know what is today, Monday. So it's going to be a week from now. And it's closer to where I was before. You're doing pretty good. That's good to hear. Cyclone. You said hot, maybe a cyclone this week. Is that what we call a hurricane? because I think our cyclones are different. Why is he getting a retrial at? Oh, cool. If I just I'm on my phone, and that's why it's hazy, because my camera is broken. He is having a hearing to see if they are going to do a retrial because gotcha, yes, hurricane. Well, hopefully not. Those suck. But retrial hearing, because it has been stated by some of the jurors and that deliberated on the trial, that the clerk of court, which is basically kind of like the courthouse secretary in layman's terms, coordinator really is better. There were jurors that said that she made statements that could have influenced their hey Stacy, how are you? That could have influenced their vote, their decision. I think decision is, I don't know what the official thing is. So last week there was a conference in Columbia with the new attorney. So it's not in the same courthouse that the trial was held. That was in Hampton County. The pardon me, the justice, Justice Toll, I believe her name is taking over the case. And last week they had a conference to even discuss if there would be a hearing, which there is going to be, and the logistics of that. So what was determined basically in that is only the jurors that actually deliberated will be questioned, and the justice will be questioning those jurors. That they will only refer to them by their numbers, not their names, and they're actually going to renumber them, because I guess the international attention that the case got, the juror numbers, they kind of, I guess a public figured out who some of them were. So, and there were some jurors that gave interviews. I think some of them went on, like, not Good Morning America, but whatever the other one is. And so some people know what their faces are, but the conference was going over, again, the logistics of how they would question jurors, because there's some they're trying to protect the sanctity, if you will, of our public service of being a juror. They're not going to be questioned on how they came to the conclusion they did. That's everybody's individual right to think how they want, to hear the evidence, to see the evidence, to hear the testimonies, and come up with the conclusion that they choose, because that is why they are there. They're trying to protect being a juror. I mean, I can only imagine 6 weeks of my life and people scrutinizing why made the decision that I did. That's no one's business to a certain degree. Now, it is the court's business if anything was said or done externally or internally. That's another thing that they discussed, to influence the juror's decision. And that's kind of what they're doing at that hearing. They're going to interview the jurors, the justices, and she's basically going to ask them, was anything said to you by the clerk of court in regard to the trial, the actual trial that was happening, not necessarily the logistics of everything. I know a lot of people are getting up in arms about, oh, the clerk of court talked to them. Well, it's my understanding the clerk of court can and probably should talk to the jurors. Again, they're more like the coordinator of the courthouse. I have shared with some of you that this past summer, I was an alternate in a trial, and the clerk of court, she told us what time to be at court the next day, gave us a card with a phone number of like where to call if we were sick, because if we did or were running a few minutes late, so they didn't have the police come and find us because we didn't show up for jury duty. Talking isn't necessarily the issue as far as I understand it. It's, if anything, about what was being discussed during trial. That's not allowed to be discussed by anyone. You can't talk to your other jurors about it. You can't talk to anybody about it. Yeah, organizational stuff, yes. So that was another thing that was discussed at the conference. Like, what are we discussing at the hearing? Let's get this kind of stuff out of the way. What is the burden of proof? Like, there's, I guess, two different types of influence that can happen with a jury. As was said in this conference, there's external and internal. Internal would be a juror member. It's now I understand why that justice says juror. It's hard to say juror. Someone on the jury. They can, if like jury members talk to each other, if a jury member talked to someone else about it, that would be considered internal as far as my understanding. External would be if anybody outside of the jury members talk to the jury about the trial. That would be internal. So apparently the accusations are just external. Hey, Rarely Care, nobody is getting a new trial. There is going to be a hearing on Monday, January 29th, to have a hearing to see if he is going to get a new trial, to see if there was jury tampering, I guess, from the accusations that are being there's some sworn statements, I guess, by some jury members that the clerk of court talked to them about. Sorry, I don't know which way my camera. About Alec Murdaugh's trial. Now, what did happen was the justice, I guess, dismissed one of the jury members that gave a sworn affidavit, and she was an official juror, but she was dismissed like the last week, I think, of trial. She's been coined as the egg lady, because when she was dismissed, Judge Newman asked, like, do you have anything back in the jury room, your personal belongings? And she said, yes, I have like a dozen eggs that some other jury member or something had brought in that day, like some fresh eggs. And this was when like eggs here in the States, at least around my area, were like $8 or $9 for a carton of eggs, which is ridiculous. They're normally under $2. So at least locally, and I'm talking like basic Walmart random eggs. So good quality eggs were probably $15 plus. So everyone kind of chuckled in the courtroom and kind of understood. It's like, yeah, you were rich if you had eggs at that point, chicken eggs. But so Justice Toll, who will be the justice at this hearing, was the one who had the conference to kind of, again, discuss the logistics of the hearing that will happen Monday. She said, nope, we're not dealing with the egg lady, because she was dismissed. We're only dealing with those who actually deliberated. Sorry, I've got some dry skin. And they'll only, the justice herself will be interviewing the jurors, nobody else. State or defense will not be interviewing the jurors, and it will only be those present for the deliberation, which is quite a blow. It's been said, to the defense, to Alex's case, because I feel like maybe only one of the deliberating juror members gave a sworn affidavit that said the clerk of court said something to them about, like, look at their see ya, thank you for stopping by. The egg lady was the one that had the most to say in regard to the clerk of court said something, like, look at his body language, or hey, holy speckle, how are you? Yeah, look at his body language. I don't remember what was in the affidavit for the other juror that said, hey, the clerk of court talked to me. And again, from my experience and understanding, the clerk of court can talk to the jurors. The bailiffs can talk to jurors. You just can't talk about what happens at the trial with anyone. Not other juror members, not the bailiff, not the judge, not the clerk of court, nobody. Can't discuss it with anybody. I had a time with one juror, like, we weren't allowed, and I feel like I understand it a little bit more. We weren't allowed to, like, take notes or anything as jurors, and I think it's not necessarily, pardon me, South Carolina state law. I believe it seems to be like judge's preference, and it does seem really annoying. Like, yeah, I gotta take notes and everything like that. I do a lot of times to pay attention, but I feel like I get it now. I think there's room for error, misremembering things, and then when you go to deliberate, if you're pulling out notes and you're all trying to kind of make a decision, you shouldn't be making a decision based on someone else's notes, their interpretation of what happened. You're supposed to be making a group decision, just with the evidence and the testimony that you witnessed during trial. The judge kind of explained it to us a lot better than I can communicate, but it did make a lot of sense to me. Really wish I could have doodled, because that would have helped me pay attention. But yeah. When you deliberate, you can sit there and write and everything, but you can't do that until then. And one other juror, remember, like when we were on a break, our breaks we would have in the jury room, we could leave for lunch, but our little 10 and 15-minute breaks were all in the room together. So when juror was like, okay, I need to write something down that they said so I don't forget. And I was like, no, you are not allowed to do that. And she's like, no, he just said we couldn't like take them out or bring our own stuff. I was like, no, I was getting mad. I'm like, you are not allowed to do this. Um, and finally other people chimed in and were like, yeah, no, he said da 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 da. So she didn't, but that could have caused a mistrial. Least horrible, she would have been excused. Most horrible, it would have caused a mistrial. And that information came from a bailiff after everything was said and done. She didn't write anything down, so I didn't say anything to a bailiff or the judge about it. But she really wanted to, and I talked to the bailiff afterward, and he was like, yeah, had she done that, that could have been grounds for mistrial. I'm like, man. But yeah, all that to say, I don't know how much this is gaining traction nationally again. I know locally it's kind of the talk of the town again. Um, the hearing, the clerk of court, I'm quite disappointed in her regardless, and her family. Everything's alleged, but if the allegations are true, despite what will be discussed at the hearing on Monday, there are other allegations of the clerk of court and of her son. In fact, he was arrested of some things. He has been accused only, not proven, accused of wiretapping in the courthouse. And I believe she's been accused of some other things. And I'm not quite sure, but it's like a shit show circus around here regarding, and I'm still like 3 hours away from where this is happening. However, the hearing is happening less than 2 hours away from me, and I really want to go. I know I've said it a bazillion times, but this case in particular, I really started listening to the Murdaugh Murder podcast when there was only like 3 or 4 episodes. And she really got into how people were connected in our state and different things, and really enlightened me as to at least how our state judges get elected. And it's more than the sensational entertainment, quote unquote, if you will, that I'm interested regarding this hearing, regarding this saga. Yeah, as he said, what a tangled web we weave. And it's introduced me to the web of South Carolina politics. And it's just quite interesting. And if these are people that, pardon me, if these are people that affect my life, affect my children's life, I want to keep my eye on them. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it to the hearing, and logistics are one of them. And another one is, again, I believe there will be national media there. There was national media, like I think it was on Court TV, the conference for the hearing was on there. I don't want to freaking be on that kind of a camera. Not only would I like be super embarrassed, I don't know. I really wish it weren't going to be televised, because then I absolutely would go. But yeah, I want to. It's a possibility, but I don't know if I will or not. I keep looking at the clock because in about 5 minutes I do have to get off here. But I'm just trying to get myself back into making videos, chatting, get back into the swing of things, man. Was trying to the beginning of the month, but I had a bad cold. Not like GLR that kept making sure he was in the shot when he was that the Johnny Depp Amber Heard. What, something, was that the lumber guy, the lumber lawyer or whatever? Yeah, and I wouldn't be making content about that. I might come in here and like talk and say, oh my God, I saw like the back of Mandy Matney's head or something. But yeah, even though I'm sitting on here talking about it, to me, this isn't content. Like, I'm not, this is our state life that I happen to be caught up on and interested in. And it just keeps getting crazier and crazier. Crazier? Lord, crazier. Hello, how are you? Crew, Trime, YouTuber, and kept moving with the camera to stay in the shot. Yeah. No, I would be doing anything. And I don't want to be in the same room as the convicted murderer either. I've already been in a room with one of those. I don't want to be in a room with another. That shit makes me nervous. Just all of them make me nervous. So I don't know. I wonder what the difference is in me wanting to be there in person and be there via watching it. I mean, other people are going to stream it. Core TV is going to stream it. So I don't know what completely my intentions are. I guess it's different to be there watching like people interact, seeing not just the hearing itself, but there's some people that will be in the gallery that I'm interested to see, and hey, if I can hear them talk, I would definitely be interested in doing that. And I don't know. Some people have definitely made this whole thing their online persona, and I don't know. I just think it's gross and nasty when you're a lawyer on TikTok and you're trying to insert yourself with people. Watch out for that tangled web. Watch out for that tangled web. I wouldn't want to get close to any of these good old boys here in South Carolina. That's for damn sure. Not the evil ones. There's some really good people here. There's a lot of really good people here. But the ones that aren't make me a little bit nervous. So, all right, I have like 2 more minutes and then I have to go inside. Again, if anybody's watching Black Mirror, I saw the entire last season 6. I wish I still had a buddy to talk about it to. Hello. I definitely do better when I can kind of bounce ideas off of someone. But I have a little video, as I said at the top of the live stream, that I'm going to do with, not I'm going to do, I'm going to do as my opinion on the entire season. And then I do wish to do some videos or live streams. I'd love to do another one, like chatting with someone about each episode. um I'm sure if I wanted to, I could do it with the same person again. But if not, I might do what I did for the Steve Carell. What was the one where the whole fiction series that he did with a serial killer? I can't even remember now. But I'm always, I use somebody else's content and kind of commented on their content. I'm always nervous to do that because I don't want to piss anybody else off. And I did the whole 10-second thing or whatever. But I don't want to keep waiting around until I have someone to kind of, you know, do these television show live stream. I know. No. I know. Then watch Black Mirror, Stacey, and come on here and chat with me. I feel like I can carry a live stream on my own, but at the same time, it's more fun to sit there and talk to someone and be like, what do you think about this? And what do you think about this? Again. But we'll see. I won't do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm just thinking about doing it. All right, guys, I got to get off here. Hope you're doing well. If you're not, that's okay too. It's okay to not be okay.